John Brensing, who is the FBI special agent in charge for the region that involves Burns, Oregon, is holding a press conference right now. And what he basically has said is that actions have consequences. The people who overtook this federal facility are going to be held responsible for that. One of them is dead. One is wounded. A bunch of, apparently 6 or 7 of them are in jail. There's still a bunch of them holed up at the wildlife refuge, and they have put what he referred to as containment roadblocks around the refuge. They don't want to go in with guns blazing. They don't want more loss of life, and they don't want to destroy the buildings. On the other hand, this is starting to reach the point where, I mean, pretty soon, this wildlife refuge, for example, he's not talking about this, I am, but this wildlife refuge, this area was a disaster as a result of overgrazing. And it has been, which is why Teddy Roosevelt took it over in 1908. And it has been largely brought back. They also do allow grazing from cattle owners who are contiguous with it, limited grazing. They do, license this. And so you've got local ranchers who are just fine with this thing. And, but every year, they actually, what had happened before 1908 is that there's a river that runs through this area, and there's a lot of swampland, what you and I might refer to swampland, what environmental specialists refer to as special habitat and ecologically sensitive, and these are like the lungs and kidneys, more like the kidneys of the earth, and that. The water had been all broken up had been diverted into all these ditches and small streams in order to provide water for cattle, and it just wrecked the area. And so now every year they've got to flood this area and then stop the flooding in order to maintain its semi-stability, because it's no longer a natural, it may be a natural area, but it's not surrounded by natural areas. The rivers now have dams on them. The natural flooding doesn't happen anymore. But so they have to do the artificial flooding. And pretty soon they're going to have to get to that, like in a month or so, maybe 2 months. And so what they're doing now is they're preparing to see what's next with this. And I think that, Americans are more than fed up with this thing. These guys are just, waiving the Constitution. This is, it's really a tragedy. And it's a tragedy that these guys so completely believed the line that had been fed them by right-wing hate radio, by Fox so-called news, and by these hustlers on the internet who have these, special opportunities. Send me $50 and I'll tell you how to avoid paying taxes forever, because the government isn't really legitimate. And the 13th Amendment wasn't really passed, or wasn't a vote on, just before Christmas Eve when it was theoretically was passed. And so there is no legal taxation, blah, blah, blah. And you're not a citizen. The United States is a corporation. And they've got all these weird theories. And one of them, one of the essential cores of one of their weird theories is that the government is not even legitimate. The government of the United States. They basically want to go back to the Civil War, or back to the Articles of Confederation. I say the Civil War because before the Civil War we had weak federal government, strong states. After the Civil War, particularly as a result of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, but also as a result of a variety of structural changes that were made by Lincoln and Johnson and subsequent presidents and legislatures. We now have a strong federal government, weak state form of government. And, there are people who don't like that. They just, they want to change it.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.